What on earth?
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Monday Night Smoke. There's no bombs today. There's no bombs. KG is away. Oh my days, what am I doing with this screen? No bombs. We got October Red with us today. KG's over there celebrating his birthday week. October, how are you?
All right, thank you very much for having me. Guys, you've got the B-Tech today, but we'll get through it.
Oh my days. Listen, it's been a mad weekend of boxing. We had Lomachenko, Katie Taylor, Jake Paul, bro. All right, sorry.
Put some respect on his name.
Listen, all right, it's time to respect Jake Paul now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I didn't think he looked bad out there.
I said it though. I've been saying this. Crossover boxing. I've been saying this, but whatever, innit?
Oh my day. All right, fine. But you know what? We're not going to get into that just yet. I know we're going to get into the weekend's boxing, but something big has happened. And I know in this community, they know that this was going to be the place where we dissect this. Before we even start to talk about it, let's show the first clip that was presented to me on the timeline this morning.
Cheers, mate.
I think you're a tosser, you little tosser. And I won't be doing any more interviews with you little toss-top bearded.
No worries, mate. Thanks very much.
Kiss my ball.
I just say before we go any further in any of this, I found it hilarious that he called him a bald-headed, bearded man. Big Tyson Fury. Anyway, we'll watch it to the end. I didn't even greet anybody.
Cheers,
I
mate.
think you're a tosser, you little tosser. And I won't be doing any more interviews with you little toss-top bearded.
No worries, mate. Thanks very much.
Kiss my balls, you little one. You little shithouse.
Have you worked out how to close this phone? Are you all right? Hit the button at the bottom. Well, that went well. You ever been cussed out by the heavyweight champion of the world? Probably not. Very glad I did this one on video call, because that could have been a painful end to my life.
Whoa! Do you know how angry you have to be to forget how to close the video? Oh, bro. He was
it was the frantic pressing.
Listen, Tyson Fury losing his cool over being asked about why he's fighting Derek Chisora, rattled beyond measure. I've never seen him that rattled before.
No, I don't think we have.
But hear the delusion now, right? He's asked him, why not fight Joe Joyce or Usyk? Because obviously,
Trav, you got to do the roll call. You got people in the chat waiting. I've got insults in the chat that I need to reply to. You got to do the roll call.
I'm too gassed to get in. All right, fine.
You got to do the roll call.
Sorry, guys. I'm doing this thing way backwards. I'm too excited. I couldn't believe it. All right, let me go to the top. Sorry, guys. All right. Shouts out to Nimble82. Shouts out to Mr. A. Man like Bruce Kai, Jermaine Williams, Stay Blessed, Be Real, Jack Scam, Star Fox, Muller, Smallsy, Jermaine Biz, Uncle Jonah, Black Super Sidebar. I haven't seen that name before. Salute. October Red, right beside. Jay Lanks, Fight Fan TV, LV Bren, Dan the Man, Flyblow 98, man like Raj, Northbank Bren, welcome back, bro. I ain't seen you in a little while. Michael Juanerio, Daniel J. Boateng, Patrick Johnson, McGowan CFC, Josh UA, Cod Royal, James Richard, Dalu Thebe, Doughboy J, Cornell XX, Nigel PXL, Stream Elements, Thomas Doon, Tony Pugilist, Aaron Ozzy B, Mr. A, Frankie Patek, Tony. Hey, all right, okay. There we go. Everybody.
There's loads. Can I just say something?
Go on.
The lovely. Where's he gone? Oh, I've lost it now. Doughboy J, my box rec. Search it because there isn't one. I'm 0-0. But what's yours?
Wait, has he asked for your box rec?
Yeah, he says what's October Red's box rec?
0-0. Same as KG.
0-0.
Never fought, never lost. But if he did,
people be getting sparked.
Let me click on this other video from that True Geordie interview, man. I thought this was the weirdest part for me.
You know, but the difference is I think with Muhammad Ali, with Lennox Lewis, you look back at their career and you can say these guys fought everyone in their era. And right now, that seems to be a real struggle for you. I'm not saying it's your fault.
There's only Joshua left of my era. That's it. And you couldn't make him fight me if he's going to give him 50 million. I think
Joshua, Usyk and Joyce all pose interesting questions.
They're not my era. Usyk and Joyce are not my era. They come from a different era. They were still changing nappies when I was a champion. I was world heavyweight champion while they were boxing for a plastic cup.
Do you know how insane it is to get something like that so wrong? Joe Joyce is 37. Tyson Fury is 34. Usyk is 35. These men were walking before you, bro.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate with that, because all he's saying, when he's talking about error, he's talking about obviously how long Joel Joyce has been in the game. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say it's like, like we say about the generational thing. That's why he's come off with that. And like I said, he's just trying to push back anything that he can to justify why he's not taking that fight. Because what did Geordie say? He said, well, why don't you just wait for Usyk? And that's when he just started to say,
upset him. But look at this.
That kicked off.
Diego Najera just said Usyk won his world title the year after he won his world title. And apparently, hold on a second, Usyk and AJ turned pro same year.
There's
none of that made any sense as far as Usyk. I can understand why he said about Joyce.
Joyce,
how long man's been in the game. You ain't done enough to really warrant this level. But at the same time, the point he was making was that Lennox and those guys cleared out their errors.
But to be fair, the other day he said that Joel Joyce hasn't got enough IG followers.
Yeah, that's a weird rationale for pro boxing still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, for me, this interview highlighted a bigger issue in boxing, right? Because we can look at the thing and say he got upset and he started cussing, man. Cool. But you kind of sense this was there when you look at how, rigid the questioning is as far as when, Frank and Tyson Fury get interviewed. Like Tyson Fury, that's not the first time Tyson Fury's lost his cool with someone. Remember that guy from Sky Sports who wanted to press him about all that, the Dark Lord stuff. Yeah, he was asking him questions. And he's like, listen, I'm not doing any more interviews.
Yeah.
That threat there, that is the one that lets you know why some interviews go the way they go. Like, obviously, I know this is more your lane, so I wanted to know how you felt about that.
Well, to be fair, Tyson Fury is not somebody that I've obviously got close enough to speak to. But there was, like I said, as I mentioned before, there was a comment on Twitter, and I kind of concur with what this guy's saying. His name's Chris Andre Boxing, and he said, notice how he's told he's never getting an interview again. This is why so many boxing journalists are so careful with their questions. Then fans get frustrated with them. But at the end of the day, it's how the journalists make a living. Fighters and promoters need to be called out on this stuff. It's a catch-22. I'd ask him whatever questions I wanted, because that's what I do. But he's never been, a guest. But I work for myself. This is my hobby. This is what I do. They work for other channels. And if they're getting, put to one side or whatever, then it's problems for them. So I kind of get why they're kind of pussyfoot around certain fighters. May ask questions, but won't really go across the line. So I get it from that sense, but I don't have to do that because I do what I want.
Have you ever had a situation where someone said to you beforehand, like, don't ask about this, don't ask about that?
No, I've never had that, because even when that stuff came out about Ben Shalom, he's never done that with me.
Right.
When that thing leaked out and he's like, don't ask this and don't.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I press record, the conversation's practically started anyway.
Yeah.
But it's Tyson Fury, isn't it? Who tells him what to do? You know what he's like? He will throw his toys out the pram. That's what he does.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, say, I look at, say, like a Umar, right, at IFL.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that his behavior is the most inconsistent. Do you know what I mean? I've spoken about this so many times. But if I see Umar and Eddie Hearn, I know I'm about to get grade A Johnny Cochran performance with how he questions him. He's not letting those answers slide. He's not letting weak answers slide either. He's cooking him. But when he's with Frank Warren, it's like a grandson and a granddad having cool moments. Like the energy is just not the same. And that lets me know that maybe it's not you, but maybe it's the environment around you. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's like that brethren bias. You kind of easy on the people that you actually like, that you've got that relationship with. And I think that's what it is with Umar and Frank. I think I spoke to Umar the other day, and he did do a very good conversation with Frank Warren. And I did say to him, fair play, I got a lot out of that interview. which I've never got before. So it's like they are starting to step up their game, because people like from all over the place are saying, why aren't you asking difficult questions, blah, blah, blah. And they're getting it in the neck. But this is what happens with that brethren bias, because the more you see people, you get used to them. But
this is going to be one of those moments, though, where I throw him some slack, and I'm saying I don't know that it's necessarily brethren bias, but I think maybe the environment doesn't allow him to even get those questions off. Because when he interviews Frank and he's sitting like, I don't know if he's in his house or wherever.
But in his office.
Yeah, the terms have been agreed from before that interview starts. Don't ask about this, don't ask about that. Let's have some fun now. Whereas when he's with Eddie now, he's like, bam, 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 bam. I know he's got it in him, but now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, if Fury's going to switch on someone like that and be like, yo, I'm not chatting to you no more. Your access is lost. That's your thing cut off. He's now thinking, I know how you men play. So I either play by this game and have this watered down interview, or I don't have any interview at all. And
I'd rather not have any. But like I said, they've got different, they're working on targets, performance, views. It's different. It's kind of like, it's a bit brutal out there, because you can see obviously from the inside, where everyone's like, I've got to get this, got to get that. And I might be a little bit more casual towards it. Because it's one of them.
If we see like the relationships, King's Network just says the same way with Eddie and Coogan. Yeah, Eddie and Coogan got the relationship that Umar and Frank have. So it's one of the ones, if they switch now, are we about to get grade A content? Do you know what I mean? Because when Coogan I don't know if I've seen Coogan and Frank have a sit down.
No, you haven't.
You haven't. You see what I'm saying? That he could have been on the absolute bar list. The game is crazy, man.
It is crazy, but I still think that Geordie guy did a fabulous job. I think he opened up on a nice, neutral dialogue, the way that he came in. He started on, obviously, Hot Topic, his Conor Ben, which TalkSport are literally living off right now. And then he's gone down all the other paths as well. And then he's kind of like said, all right, then talk to us about Chisora. You've had 2 fights with him. Do we really need to see a third? Because the second one was this, that, and the other. And then it kind of like gets onto the disrespect of Chisora then, because you're looking at levels and saying, you sort of like Chisora, you're putting Chisora on the floor and Tyson Fury up there. But people have asked the question, but not like Geordie, as Geordie proper went in on him, which was good to watch. Fair enough. Tyson didn't like it, but sometimes you're not going to like it. But to me, that was good, solid interviewing.
That's the thing. You ask questions, you ask the hard-hitting stuff, and it's one of the ones where it's like, bro, not every interview is going to be comfortable. You know what I mean? You're acting crazy. You're Tyson Fury, bro. Like, you're the guy in the division. Like, you're undefeated. The only one in this moment right now that's undefeated. The only thing that you can poke at as far as Tyson Fury is, say, the resume, and like clearing out the divisions. Stop with these soft touches. So now he's asking about it. He's thrown his toys out the pram. And you kind of got an insight to what reporters like yourself have to deal with in this climate of interviewing fighters. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is what it is, but he's showed out that he's pissed off and he doesn't want to speak about it. And that, he can be a diva when he wants to be. If somebody speaks to him how he doesn't want to be spoken to, which he wasn't rude. He was doing this. The fans are saying, why not this person? Because first of all, Joel Joyce was said, hello, I'm here. And then it was like, no, I'm on holiday. And then that kind of fizzled off. And then it was like the AJ scenario we've got deadlines, but obviously it looks now like Chisora was running concurrently in the background. They had 2 on the burner by the looks of it from obviously 258. But it is what it is. If he gets through, obviously he's a favourite going into with Chisora, and he gets through that, you'll see what happens next year. Let's see if he fights to use it, and then all questions will be answered then, won't they?
Yeah, mate. A lot of boxing this weekend though. Katie Taylor, Jake Paul, Lomachenko's back in the ring. Listen, listen. Before we open the lines, I'm gonna just say this straight. I think Lomachenko's lost a step, and I don't know if it's ring rust. Personally, like I feel like we saw a couple chinks in the armor from Lomachenko from before this break. And now I think this break is going to have a significant effect on him. I think Haney's going to wash him.
I think that as well. But are we going to look at what he's the one that actually went to war, didn't he? He's the one that actually went out there on the front line, didn't he? And then obviously come back. So could you say a bit of ring rust, a bit of, I don't know, PTSD? I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm not going to say like AJ said. I know it can't be nice because it isn't. It's horrific. But I'm saying he's just come back from that. But has he lost a bit? Has he lost a bit of his sauce? But obviously, that's for the guys to talk about, isn't it?
Father time, boy. Father time knocks on everybody's door, man. Yeah. I don't know. I look at him and I was like, I don't think. It's going to be a beating. Like, Haney's going to beat him up, I think.
And he's clever with it as well. Not that Lomachenko isn't clever, because we know that he is. But the commentary, dear Lord, did you listen to the commentary?
I didn't.
With the American commentary. It's the same thing that happens with Alicia Baumgardner in round 1. Same thing.
No, for real.
Nuts.
For real. Mate, Jake Paul, is it time for us to really say, okay, you know what? Give him some respect. I understand he hasn't been in there with a legit boxer yet. But when you look at pro fighters, when they turn over in their career, are they all kicking off and fighting top 10 guys like early on or even top 20? Like, it's still fight number, 6?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I'm saying? He was just in there with a very respected MMA
legend. but he was 49 still. Oh, is he 47? Oh, 47. People like DMing me saying that he's 50 and that.
I know it is crazy. The age thing is crazy, but let's be real. There's some new guys on their debut or first couple fights that would lose to a 47-year-old legend.
Do you think he would have done Hasim Rahman Jr. after he got smoked?
I don't know. I don't know. Boy, all right, let's get Lennox in. He's here.
Oh my gosh, Lennox will tell us everything. Hi, Lennox.
No. I can't jeopardize a certain contracts with that one. Yeah.
You know what?
I can't discuss any Showtime things. Let's just leave it.
You can't discuss anything. That's not like you.
No, I can't discuss Showtime. You get me?
Okay, cool.
We can discuss everything else. I can't discuss this.
Don't jeopardize the bag, bro. If you
we can't. Let's get on the Lomachenko thing, because obviously after work I caught that Sunday, and I'm listening to the commentary, wondering if I'm watching the same fight.
It was wild.
I told you.
I was perplexed. I was quite perplexed. I think I tweeted you, man, and said, "Hey, how come it's been more than a few mad cards on the top rank thing? Yeah, the Maeva Hamadouche thing. There's been a few of them. Well, I don't see the outrage like when it happens on a UK card."
But are we sitting in the USA?
Hold on,
are we sitting in the USA to see that? Because it might be an outrage. You don't know.
Yeah, what's the temperature like out in this? I mean, Maestro will speak to. But
Maestro would be able to tell us that.
All these bad
the outrage is not the same. The outrage is not the same. I was in Nevada. I was watching it from a hotel room in Nevada Sunday morning before flying back. Right. I saw a few men mentioned a few things, but obviously only people that mentioned it were hardcore boxing fans. But it wasn't the mazza that I normally see, like after say a matchroom card where it's a bit of a sketchy one or close one.
We're brutal over here, though.
The commentary was atrocious. Atrocious.
Yeah.
Hey, you know when it's like they had a script.
Tim Bradley.
It's like they had a script. Yeah.
They're starting to lose my trust still. I can't lie. And Andre Ward, it's hard to hear Andre Ward be off the mark, because I'm like, but you're so intelligent. It doesn't make sense.
But that's what makes it the most difficult. No, it's not outlandish, but you see when you're watching a fight and it's like these men are just reading a script, right? You know, if you got like a fight playing, or you're listening to something else in the background. Yeah, that's what it's like. Like, I agree. You're like, wow, what fight are these men watching?
Double take. Huh?
Guys in the chat, what networks have been the least biased? Because it seems like everybody.
I was about to say that's
everybody's biased, isn't it?
Small hall shows. Shout out the small hall shows. Yeah. They keep it real.
Everybody's biased, but there's bias and there's atrocious. You get me? Like, it's like, listen, I think the closest thing to this one was the Michaela Meyer thing where I was like, right, what is man on Sky calling?
Yeah.
Like, what fight are you all lot watching? Yeah, it was a bit mad. Yeah, it was. I just watched that after the fact. Like, okay, all right. Well, you know, because here's my thing. I was getting texts telling me Loma's not looking good, right?
Yeah,
so obviously I wasn't watching it live because I was working. So watching it back.
There? Was you there?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't at the Loma listing. I was not in. I was at the Jake Paul thing.
Okay.
I was at the Jake Paul thing. I got to make up that Spence and Crawford money somewhere. You get me?
The fight that was never going to happen anyway. You like deluded.
I love the fact that you had to give us the disclaimer as to why you was at the Jake Paul fight, bro.
No, but you know what I mean. I told you the situation. I took the deal, and I made an emotional decision based on a fight that I wanted to see that was on the table, and then they got pulled. But now, you know, I'm committed to this thing that, you know what I mean, through the end of the year. So I had to make them peas up. So yeah, I had to cut the holiday short and come back, and you know what I mean, shout out to Anderson. It was great shooting his camp. But but I watched the Loma thing afterwards, and it was just like, you know what it is? He's lost his step. Since the Linares fight, he's always predictable, but Linares kind of showed people what to do with him. You know what I mean? And another thing I saw, he does not, for all his greatness, he seems to not know how to fight southpaws. Because when the kid went southpaw, he was a bit bemused.
Frazzled.
He had hella problems with Luke Campbell too.
I wouldn't say hella problems.
No, he was more prepared for Luke Campbell, but like I feel like it just seems like the southpaw thing, and I'm like, did you not? I mean, I'm granted he probably did not spar southpaws for this fight, but but it was looking a bit mad.
Do you put this down to ring rust, or are you saying like the magic is gone? I feel like it's gone or going. Sorry, but how did you see it?
Should we give him a couple of fights? But
that's the thing. That's why I don't want to sound like I'm going too harsh. If I am,
I've seen it progressively. You know what I mean? People progressively get better at handling him. You get me? So it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. Yeah. Progress since watch it since Linares. Everything from Linares on. It's like, you know, again, people always remember the end of the fight, right? A lot of people, unless you're a boxing degenerate like myself, you don't really remember a full fight. Most people go, oh, he won the Linares fight. But you see what Linares did to him, not just the knockdown, just technically speaking, he started to put a formula, right? I go back to like, I'll chat shit like and say, listen, Cal Brook took the aura off Golovkin. People go, Golovkin broke his face. But I go, listen, man doesn't come up 3 weight classes and start knocking your head about like that. Other fighters see that and go, hey, if he could do that and he's a much smaller guy coming up, you're not the guy that we think you were, right? Like another thing I point out, I'll tell people again, I go by fights that man may have lost and you go, oh, right, he won. I point out Cal Brook versus Spence, yeah? Cal Brook was touching Spence with the orthodox jab all night. And I'm telling you, as a southpaw, if an orthodox fighter can touch you with a jab at will, you're not as good as we think you are.
Interesting point. I hear that.
Because it's like, here's what it is, yeah? There's two fighters that have an advantage technically, southpaws and shorter fighters. Because they spend most of their careers fighting people that the other guys don't get to see. You get me? If you're a taller fighter normally as a heavyweight, right? You're generally dealing with other tall fighters. If a short heavyweight, he spent his career fighting taller heavyweights. Like, what is it?
Neil Simpson has made a good point as well. He said Lomachenko has been getting away with fighting in the wrong weight class when he was younger, but at 34, he can't get away with it.
Precisely. He can't get away with, and like now man them have got like a playbook on him. There's enough fight, and you know what I mean? That pivot to one side, he pivots to the same side all the time. The outer foot placement, you know, you can now train to counter a lot of the things that people did not see before you went pro. And he's losing a bit of athleticism too. A lot of his style relied heavily on athleticism and being a front. He's a front foot pressure fighter. So guys have done They figure out how to cut his angles off, and if you push him on the back foot, he has a hard time.
He kind of
I'm
crumbles
still,
a bit.
I'm still going to give him a couple of fights because, like I said, there's mitigation. There's room for mitigation with him. I get what you're saying, and it doesn't look like he's on the best side of the shiny coin, but I think there's mitigation. So I'm going to sit back and watch a couple more of his fights and see what happens then. But I will say that I'm confident that Haney will beat him just because he's adaptable style and he's fresher and younger. But that's just a confidence that I get from Haney that I believe that he's very, very capable boxer.
He's capable, but it'll be a harder fight for him because Lomachenko will be better prepared for him.
I mean,
we'll see.
He'll be in better shape than he was for this fight, but I don't necessarily think he turns back the hands of time. Like he's not. But you know what's mad? That's going to be a fight that most people are going to find boring because it's going to be such high level. It's going to be a fight that me and just bare degenerates that actually love 12-round boxing will love. Most people, I like
boxing.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavy chess match, and a lot of people will not appreciate it. And which is mad coming from Bob Arum, who said that Bivol versus Biev was a boring fight, but he's trying to make this fight.
Yeah. There's a comment that's coming here from Ronin Sevens. I like this comment. Loma has had a long career. A lot of trainers, coaches have enough footage to analyze and counter his habits and what he does well. It just means Loma has to adapt, which might be hard at this stage. That's a really good comment. I like that.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Shout out
exactly
Ronin
what I was saying.
That's real.
Big up Ronin 7, yeah. That's exactly what I was on.
And Bruce is making me laugh in the chat. I ain't reading his out because he's gonna make me have to cut off the camera.
Lennox, you and Bruce are gonna have to see each other, bro, because every week
what's he on?
He said that Lennox never dials the wrong number. You just answer the wrong phone, bro. He's doing all right.
No, it's calm. It's calm. No. The banter's all good. Yeah,
hey,
banter's all good.
No, have you seen what Muller's put? Have you seen what Muller's put? Sorry, just the one more.
Go on.
Lennox used to play blackjack with Jesus, and that's for
Nah, big man, I'm not that old.
For those that haven't seen this Lennox banter, this is quite normal. Lennox knows everything.
October, don't jeopardize the peace. Yeah, let me ask you. Hey, Lennox. So you was at the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight, right? How did that look there? Like, tell us what it was like to be in the room, because obviously we're just regular boxing.
It was
from home.
No, it was a good thing, but it was enjoyable. It's good for the game and all that. Obviously invoices getting paid, so I'll leave it at that, family. You see, here's what it is. Yeah, I'll talk to you offline while I'm not being recorded to discuss that further if you'd like to. But I'm not saying anything about that there on air.
Well, that's pointless, really.
Interesting,
isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Trav, come on, Trav.
All right. Bro, hit me in the DMs. I'm happy to be confidential, bro.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But like I said, I'll share. Since everyone enjoys Lennox, I'll tell you this. Yeah, Anderson Silva. This is a fact. You could double check it. Anderson Silva used to teach Muay Thai at Ultimate Boxing at Ultimate Gym about 2007, 2008. He trained Idris Elba. Anderson Silva in 2008 was supposed to box Roy Jones.
Okay.
So Anderson Silva can box.
As an exhibition fight or a proper fight?
He wanted a proper fight with Roy.
Okay.
But the UFC, he was on the UFC contract at the time. So Anderson Silva can box. Have I seen better versions of Anderson Silva boxing? Yes.
I mean, this is what, 18 years ago that you're referencing?
No, I'm not referencing then. I'm referencing. Have you seen All Access?
No, I haven't.
I've heard of it.
I'm referencing All Access in LA. I'm referencing Camp. Referencing 2 months ago.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is we need to watch that again and think about what you just said, because there's a gem in there, innit?
Yes, that's really all. I'll leave it at that. I'll say that Anderson Silva can box, and you know, I mean, they're. I'm not going to say the thing that, you know, you could turn it on and you could turn it off.
You're such an anticlimax. Do you know that?
You're
You're like going out on a date. You're all this mouth, and then all of a sudden you're like, you can't really do what you've been on about, and it bores me. If I'm going to be quite honest, this shit bores me. I want the details. I want the action. You keep on teasing. You're like a little tease.
October. Yeah, listen. All right, listen. I'll say it like this. Yeah, I can't do another camp ban, because I got on here, not on one of, I think it was at this channel, yeah, and I said something about a certain fight, and I was supposed to be in camp doing an all access, 40 days and 40 nights, and all of a sudden I got shipped off to the opponent's camp.
All right, then, fair enough.
So you know what I mean?
Don't give us anything. Then you have to give us opinion.
No. I was not trying to have a conversation about that. Trav just keeps poking. When Trav knows, he can just get at me directly.
I tell you what you need to do, bro. You need to create another account that does not have Lennox on
ghost.
There.
No, but here's the thing though. My voice is my voice. You get me? So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? When Mandem are playing clips of Steven Espinoza, it's like, you know what I sound like.
Yeah, but with your 700 accents, I'm sure you could get away with it.
I mean, if you want me to switch to the, you see, here's the thing. KG's not here. KG's not here. I could have camouflaged it and give you facts and have KG translate.
Hey, I can understand it, bro. Don't underestimate me in this thing. I'll be following you man's combos. But nah, I hate you, bro.
It's cool, but I thoroughly enjoyed the Tyson Fury clips. That's some of the best entertainment. I've got to watch the entire interview now, because that's some of the best entertainment I've seen in, like, it's mad. And also it's crazy because he's turned down 3 chances to fight AJ. The first one was in public, but he's had 3 chances to fight AJ for big money. And mind you, I said it in the chat. You know, AJ and Usyk won their medals in the same Olympics, yeah. So he's trying to separate these man's generations. Like, he's obviously got the wrong thing, and he fails to mention that Wilder was around for the Klitschko era. Wilder was fully a champion in the Klitschko era. Wilder's manager said he was a baby, so he wouldn't let him unify.
Travis, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Can I just be a little bit naughty tonight?
Be naughty, bruv. We're already here.
Lennox, would you please stay here because Maestro's here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Maestro.
Hi, Maestro.
Yeah, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Get your camera on, bro. Don't try and do this.
It's Monday. It's Monday Night Smoke. You know?
Give us pay-per-view Maestro, bro.
We need your face.
Finally, Maestro is back. You know, on Monday Night Smoke. What's good?
Oh, here he is.
There we go. Maestro Square Garden. I like that. I like that a lot.
This is going to be clash of the egos. I can't wait for this.
No, it's no clash of the egos. Like I respect Lennox, but at the end of the day, when he's talking his last topic, it's like he's definitely talking Europa League level, and your boy's way up the Champions League. So, you know, it is what it is. So listen, this whole thing about he turned down 3 fights, Fury.
Yep.
I don't know about the first one. Lennox is going to have to explain that. You know, like you said, October Red, he's kind of teasing it. If you're going to say it, say it. Because I'm ignorant.
All right.
Back it up.
Hang on. Before let's start here. Let me ask a question.
Hold up.
Let me ask one question.
You can't answer a question with a question. We don't do that here. It's so toxic.
I'm gonna say a couple more things, and then the floor is yours, Lennox. So the second time, which to me is the first time, to me the second time he mentions, which to me is the first time, is the Saudi Arabia fight. And we all know why that fight didn't happen. Deontay Wilder won a contractually binding arbitration case. If Fury didn't go through with the third Wilder fight, he would have been sued for tens of millions of dollars for not fighting someone that everybody knows he can beat. So,
but Maestro, just to quickly
like, go for it.
Just to quickly interject on that, obviously with the arbitration, that's what ruined that. But then why agree to fight AJ if you know that you've got that arbitration in the background? That's my only argument around that.
I got a reasonable reason.
Hang on.
Reasonable reason. No, she asked me a question, Brethren. She asked me. She said Maestro. That's what I heard anyway.
I need
she asked me. So the reason for that is my guess. I could be wrong. But my guess is that Tyson Fury has a elementary school education. That would be my guess. I'm a teacher, okay? I would be surprised if he finished high school, secondary school over there. At the end of the day, he relied on the advice of a man, Bob Arum, who's a Harvard law trained attorney, who made his bones as a U.S. state attorney way before he got into the sport of boxing, a man who's been involved in multiple arbitration hearings, all right, and who told him and was out there telling the world. In fact, Eddie Hearn even believed it because it was because of Bob Arum's word that Eddie Hearn even started negotiating the fight with the Saudis. Arum said, this is a closed case. Deontay has no shot of winning this. The interviews are out on YouTube. Eddie Hearn's interview saying that's why he went through with trying to negotiate the fight.
I think that's ringing bells, actually. Yeah,
it's out there. Then. So at the end of the day, a lawyer who's his promoter told him straight up, this dude has no shot. He had no shot because we got to remember, Deontay pulled out of the rematch of the second fight because he had an injury, right? And then there was the COVID pandemic. And then in arbitration, that was used as something in legal terms from French law. It's called force majeure, which means
like a
that it's beyond our power. All right, so that's why he won the case. So that's the reason. Now the third time,
okay over there, bro.
The third time.
No, I'm listening. I'm letting him get his thing off. Yeah.
Someone fight.
Sorry, excuse me.
Which to me is the third time. Which to me is the second time. The third time, Lennox's third time. Because again, I'm still waiting to understand the first time. It could be there. I don't know. He just said it. So we got to hear him out. But my second time, the third time, was the all-English showdown where, again, the perpetual liar and Tyson Fury. First he's retired, then he's not retired. First the fight is going to be free, then it's not going to be free.
Yeah, I remember that as well. Yeah.
That didn't go through, not because Tyson pulled out. Frank Smith, who I got a lot of respect for. Every time I see him, I say, hey, Mr. Smith, because I respect him like that, right? Mr. Smith said in an interview with IFL TV that the timeline was too soon. It was too early for AJ, that it didn't suit them, and that it was too rushed, and that it wasn't good for them. He said that. That's not me saying that. He said that. So you can't say that a man pulled out of a fight 3 times, given what I just laid out. That's just not factual.
All right. Let me get my. All right. There's a few names. I'll ask yes or no, just quickly. Do you know who Femio Tedola is? That's a no, right? You know who Mike Adeniga is? Hang on.
Go true.
No, hang on. I'm making points. Okay, wait. Hang on. I'm getting to
take your time, Maestro.
Parliamentary procedure, big man. I'll let you get your thing out. Okay.
No.
Let me ask you a question. One thing. You remember? You know what flag is green, white, green? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You remember Tyson Fury wearing a mouth guard with said flag?
Yeah.
You remember Tyson Fury? Did you ever wonder why he had that mouth guard in that second fight?
I did, but could you educate us?
Okay. All right. Femio Tedola, Adenuga, those are Nigerian billionaires. That was the first offer. He had money on the table. AJ went to Nige. He had money on the table to fight AJ in Nige. That's why he wore that mouth guard. So that's offer number 1. Check the receipts.
So he pulled out of the fight, and your evidence for it is that he wore a mouth guard.
I'm pointing out. Hey, big man, did you listen? I just pointed you out where the money was from and what the offer was. That's why he wore it. That's why. Hey, can I get my Maestro? All right, do you have any other reason for me? Could you explain to me why he wore Nigerian flag mouth guard in the second Fury fight, in the second Wilder fight?
First of all, you've been asked a direct question. All right, to explain your statement that the man pulled out of a fight. You've now provided.
I said he was offered. I've just given you.
He's giving you details of the offer. Okay, Maestro, I'm gonna have to explain you the rules one more time. Okay, I explained to you the rules in the dressing room. If you don't follow my count, I'm gonna give you a standard 8. All right.
But to be fair to Maestro, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Lennox is trying to answer a question with a question, which is not fair in itself.
He's not.
No, he's explaining. All right, from how I understand
just explain it. Get to the point. This is what I'm saying about him teasing. Just get to the point, man.
He said there was.
Hey, do me a favor.
He said there was.
Do me a favor.
Go on, Lennox.
Do me a favor, Trav. October later on, I'll send you a picture. All right, from an event that only people who were in the room have been there. AJ's one of the people. I'm one of the people. Big Baby Miller's one of those people. Right? So
again, here we go.
So hang on. Hey. Can I get my point? Hey, Trav. I let this man talk, right?
Hey, Maestro, that's enough. All right, go on, Lennox.
I let this man talk. I said he had 3 opportunities to fight. He had 3 opportunities. He didn't want it. Right? If this man wants to chat contract law, you got a thing called negotiation and good faith. You can't have an offer out to 258 for Derek Chisora and at the same time have an offer out to a 6-man team to fight AJ. It's something called in business contract law is good faith negotiation. That's not a good faith negotiation. Who are we trying to book? It's the same team. It's the same team. You had one contract out first. It's good faith. Whatever Frank Smith says, there's a legal thing called good faith negotiation. There's a simple thing called good faith negotiation.
You know what, Trav?
Yeah.
Trav, you know, my wife don't know this, right? But I got like 20 supermodels right now ready to put hands on the kid. Guess what, though? I'm going to show you the pictures after the show. I'm going to prove that to you after the show. I got 20 supermodels ready to put hands on your boy Maestro all over my body.
That's all right.
I got 2 million in the bank, but you got to send me 10 bags first.
All right, let me just say what Lennox is talking about. I've already seen the evidence. It's real.
What is he talking about? Because I've actually forgotten the question now.
Just saying. I'm under confidentiality.
I can tell you what he's talking about. He said the fight was canceled. He said Tyson Fury pulled out of a fight because some billionaire that 90% of ninjas never heard of put out an offer that's never been reported by anybody reputable, and his only source of information is that the man was wearing a mouth guard with some colors on it. Get the hell out of here. And let me talk about the Lomachenko fight, because that's actually
oh my God! When did you get big man? When did you get your first passport? Because it's hard to chat to people without. I mean, I'm not even sure what. I can't even take you seriously, because
what does that even mean?
Sitting here and chatting loud is just like it's not. There's really no.
I got no idea what the hell he's talking about. You know what? Hey, Fulano, did you do your homework last night? Nah, bro, you know, my dog ate it, and I also took some photos of it. And you know what, Mr. Barnett? If I bring, come on, get the hell out of here.
Big man, here's the thing. I can't be bothered. Listen.
Okay, guys, go back to your corners. Whoa.
But that was really interesting. But I think it's a debate that needed to happen.
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let Lennox take a seat for a second. I'm gonna bring Maestro in one at a time because there's no parliamentary procedure. We need that back in this mix right now. This is insane. These men are throwing punches after the bell. They're not listening to any of us.
Travis, but this is Monday Night Smoke.
I know.
Okay, so we back on smoke right now. So look, sometimes you guys keep extending my teaching hours. I'm teaching these kids at school, and then I'm teaching these kids on this show. It's crazy.
Hey,
where my overtime check? Where my overtime check? So listen.
Look, invoice it to Lennox.
Anyway, I called in to talk about the mostly about the Lomachenko fight. Well, I will say about this True Geordie situation, I found the whole thing comical because sitting where I am sitting here on this side, man, I've seen so many interviews where Floyd is shutting people down, Wilder's shutting people down, clowning them in front of people. At the last Wilder press conference,
to this
know what Deontay did? He looked at a guy dead in the face. He like, who you with? Oh yeah, right. You with them? Next question. Get out of here, bro. And he started to talk to somebody else. Fighters of a certain level, of a certain ego, if they're like, you know what, you're not even on my level to be asking me these kind of questions, they get upset about it. This is a fact. I'm not condoning Fury, but this is not just Fury that's done this. And by the way, your boy AJ, and to his credit, your boy AJ wouldn't have even sat down with this True Geordie dude. And I wouldn't blame him. Why are you sitting down with him?
I hear that, but the flip side is,
AJ would never sit down with this guy, let alone give him 40 minutes.
The flip side is this. Let's say that the boxing YouTubers and the journalists that, people want to dismiss if they don't play ball, if they all stop speaking about this person or giving any coverage to their boxing, that hits them harder than it is the other way around. If IFL TV decide that, right, I'm never going to talk to this guy again, this guy's going to struggle moving forward. So now we're in a different situation where both of these guys, whether they like it or not, they're going to have to engage with each other in a proper way. And what's happening now is that fans are used to a level of access and transparency. We're not going to be able to go back to those old days where we relied on newspaper articles. Them men are going to have to be like, big man, we can fact check you. We can fact check you, bro. So it's not gonna fly when man can say, bro, why are you doing this when you said this? You said this and you've done that. That doesn't make any sense. Go on, get out. Okay, cool. We'll all leave then. Good luck selling out 60,000 seats and doing pay-per-view numbers.
But there's no unity because I'm telling you now, there'll be snakes that'll wait and say, don't worry about him. I'll ask you what you want. And they'll still get the interview. You're going to get people that will pander to them.
October, you're right. I mean, how many channels are out there, right, that get access to certain promoters where people are like, yo, when are you going to ask this dude like a real question? Like, he beating around the bush. He doing the Lennox job on everybody, diverting questions, bringing up all kind of different facts that are not real facts, that only he has the evidence for and can only show you behind the scenes when people aren't listening. I mean, promoters been doing this for ages, right? Yeah. And we already know, I know you do, October, you're out there in the mix. The certain stations, certain platforms get to access because they don't ask the questions. It's the same thing over here. Yeah. It's the same thing over here.
Okay.
Right? Where you'll see, look at Floyd's career. How many channels did Floyd give access to?
Yeah, you're right.
Very
small.
One of the only one was Fight Hype. That's it.
They was in his house. He was getting a massage after fights. He's right there filming.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I remember.
That's it. Right? You got another guy who I met at the fights. He a nice guy. But Ellie Sekback, reporting. I mean, he's got his guys that he goes to for content as well. Right? The idea of someone with a platform asking these, like, honestly, very thin-skinned ego boxers, right? Tough questions and holding them accountable. I mean, it's very few and far between. You got to go back to, like, the Brian Kenny interview with Floyd or the Larry Merchant interview with Floyd, or because they're used to not having to actually answer tough questions. That's just who they are, which, by the way, is why most of them don't even give one-on-one interviews unless they know the people.
It's the fighters that sometimes won't give those one-on-ones. But what I will say is the promoters, even I had an opportunity to speak with Bob Arum, but unfortunately I just missed my goal because he was that busy. But when Dimitri Salita was here for Clarissa Shields, they were very open for me. Even Dimitri Salita says, come on, I'll do it with Bob Arum. So
Dimitri will give you an interview.
Yeah, Dimitri
Bob Arum will speak. Bob Arum will speak to anybody.
Bob Arum.
He doesn't care.
So Ben Shalom, the same.
But let me ask you this: Does Leonard Ellaby speak to everybody?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity, but I don't, that'll be over to you.
Leonard Alabi actually responded to one of my...
Maestro, let me just push back on some of the stuff you said about, like, say, Floyd, if we're using as an example. Whilst Floyd had his selected ones where he'd give, like, a lot of access, he was still open and available to those who he knew were about to be naysayers. Hence why we had these moments where he clashed with this guy and clashed with that guy, and he got into an argument with this guy. He was still
he clashed with them once. He never clashed with them again. Which is exactly what Fury did.
Larry Merchant, mad times, bro. Like, that's why
he's in the ring now, and you can't avoid him.
To be
He's
fair,
in the ring.
Larry Merchant worked for HBO. Larry Merchant's job was to go to the fighters right after.
Yeah, he's in the ring. You can't escape him.
I'm talking about one-on-one interviews leading up to fights or after a fight. And I don't want to spend too much time on this topic because I'm not. Fine. I actually wanted to talk about the Lomachenko fight. So where I was in press row, multiple people actually thought that Jermaine Ortiz edged it. Okay, I didn't hear the broadcast. I still haven't gone back and listened to it or watched it.
If you want to, you know what I mean, protect your view of Andre Ward.
I don't know who you guys get out there all of the time, because usually they have one team for local or national and another team for international. We have Andre Ward, Joe Tessitore, Tim Bradley, and Bernardo Osuna, and Mark Kriegel. That's who we have. Yeah. But I did also see Jamal Herring out there. So I was wondering if he was doing the international feed. I don't know. But a lot of people thought that Jermaine Ortiz edged it. I definitely think that he won the first half of the fight, using his size, using his length, okay? And also, he throw a 1-2, and then he throw a 1-2, follow up with a hook, and then he tie up Lomachenko and spin him, and then restart it. That was on repeat for the early part of the fight. You know who can do that masterfully? Devin the Dream Haney.
No, I was about to say,
I mean, that's Devin Haney right there in a nutshell. Now, right after the fight, I interviewed Usyk cornerman and Lomachenko cornerman. You guys could watch it on my Instagram. I put it up on my channel as well. Russ Amber, where he actually thought that the 117 score to Loma was the most accurate score. I almost never disagree with Russ Amber. I've known him going back many years. But I highly disagree with him on that. I thought that was actually an outlier scorecard. I think that the realm of realistic scorecards would have been 115, 113 kind of for Loma at most, personally, right? Okay. But he said that not only was it good preparation for Loma, that fight, he actually thinks that it's a good morale booster, you know, for Loma going into a Haney fight. Personally,
what I was about to say, what do you think? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think he's ready.
No, I think it's his Haney all day at this point. The only question for me, and you can see how big he's gotten after that fight with Gambosis, he's filled out. You could see it in his face. You could see it in his body.
That's what Loma straight away. Loma was like, he's a lightweight. This guy's a lightweight.
Yeah. Looking up to him.
Now, there's a couple things I have issues with a lot of what Loma's like fan base will tell you, right? Well, he's an undersized lightweight. He shouldn't even be fighting at lightweight. Well, that's his decision. I was at a fight at the same venue years ago, which was Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko. Yeah. Rigondeaux was a natural 118 pounder. That was actually his natural weight class. He was fighting above his natural weight class when he's winning titles at 122. And we know this because at the end of his career, he went down to 118. Okay. Yeah. Where were the excuses then? He had to fight Lomachenko at 130. In fact, the commission was insisting that the day after the weigh-in, that he had to weigh a certain weight. So he had stuff in his pockets just to be able to meet that minimum weight to fight Loma.
Damn.
So you can't have it both ways. And what I would ask you two, and this isn't a basic Lennox tactic, this is actually a legit question. I'm asking you guys a legit question, right? What's his best win? Has he actually beat a great fighter? Or is he mostly known for winning world titles fast in multiple weight divisions?
I'm going to have to see. I'm going to see this right now. I was about to say, because that is what you have to do. Usually the names will literally just flow from your mouth if you can name those real wins.
I can give you the name.
If I have to go to BoxRec,
is that a great win?
I mean,
is that a great win?
Are you not going to give him? You're not going to give him
okay.
Nicholas Walters. That was a hell of a performance in that one.
Yo, what happened to Nicholas Walters? Where he at?
I hate you.
Notice. Here's what I'm asking for.
Linares.
You go through De La Hoya. People are saying he's a future Hall of Famer. People are saying he's an all-time great fighter.
Yeah.
If I ask you what are Oscar's great wins, you'll be able to tell me. If I ask you what are Floyd's great wins, you'll be able to tell me. If I ask
because the names are on the resume,
you'll be able to say it. I'm not saying these are bad wins, but are they great wins? And if he does go on and lose to Devin Haney, right? And at that point he's at 3 losses. Really, what is the legacy built on? Is it built on great wins against great fighters, or is it based on a guy who did something quite remarkable, which is winning world titles early in his career, professional career,
which sounds like Anthony Joshua,
titles, right?
Similar to Anthony Joshua, yeah,
right. But if you're asking what are the great wins, right? What are they?
But you can say this is quite a common theme, then, can't you? For the ones that they really push to the top, and then when they get to the top, it's staying there.
You know what the thing about
it is, but here's the difference. Nobody's out there saying Joshua's the all-time. Go ahead.
Let me jump in though. The reason why Lomachenko's thing is quite different is because he came in with the clout that carried over from his amateur career into his professional career. Hence why he had a title shot like straight away. Like that was like resetting the mode. He was on a whole different kind of energy from day one.
I could name you all kind of great amateurs. Teofilo Stevenson, Felix Savon. I just have to go through Cubans and Soviets, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact is that's amateur boxing, and he's being brought up as an all-time great, future Hall of Famer off of his pro record.
I'd say it's a common theme across the board.
Who has better wins? Shakur Stevenson or Lomachenko?
I'm gonna get
because Shakur Stevenson.
Look at Jamal Herring.
Shakur Stevenson beat an undefeated Oscar Valdez to unify the title. A world champion that had all kind of accolades, who would beat Miguel Burchell and many others. Yeah, right, but is anybody already saying Shakur Stevenson is a future Hall of Famer?
I do hear what you're saying.
I will pipe in. Trav, you've missed a super chat here, and I think there was one early from Sevens as well. So respect for that. Yeah. We appreciate the super chats.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Alexander Wilson's put up 2 questions and said, "What would Shakur do to Loma?" Which is kind of like following on from what you're saying.
Well, notice they're talking about Haney. They're not talking about Shakur, because what they think probably is that Haney's going to be weight trained. You know, Haney's not going to be himself. Haney's not going to have the power.
You know what? I think it's even less than that. I think it's less than that. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's less damage on the career and legacy if you lose to Devin Haney than it is to Shakur. I think Shakur beats him as well today, right now. I don't know. This is like, for me, I just feel like you lose to Shakur, that's a bit more of a dent on your career than it is.
What would be the excuse if he loses to Shakur? Shakur started at 126 like him.
The excuse
Shakur's moving up from 130 like he did. Right?
The excuse would be he's too old. And Haney's clearly on his way up.
Age will play an aggravating factor.
Those are my only questions, you know. And they're legit questions. I'm not a Loma hater. I think Loma's great. I like his team, you know. But the level that he's at, to me, does not really match the hype, because the hype was like so over the top coming into the pros.
Yeah, I mean, but this I mean, for me, I look at the Loma hype in the same way I see like not the pedigree,
the amateur pedigree.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying in regards to the hype, I look at the hype and I'm like, Tyson Fury's got that same hype machine where it's like up there with Muhammad Ali.
He didn't when he first came in. He didn't when he first came in.
He started off with Mick Hennessy doing small ass shows.
He didn't have that hype when he first came
in his first fight. He was the B-side to Chisora in his first fight.
So this career, his career and his resume puts him up there with Ali and Lennox Lewis, in your opinion?
No, not in mine.
Tyson Fury.
No.
Is that who you were responding to?
Lennox Lewis, to me, Lennox Lewis is the best heavyweight of all time. I could see him potentially losing to a fight to some of the greats, but you know what Lennox was great at? The rematch. He got you in the rematch. Lennox Lewis knocked out people in rematches. That's what he does. He didn't twinkle toes his way around to a 12-round decision in Saudi Arabia against Andy Ruiz. No, he emphatically stopped the people that beat him. He did it. Lennox, he did it. And to me, that's what
I'm not. I down talking Lennox.
you can't. But I think the mindset of the fighters is different these days. I think the fighters are so much more mollycoddled, wrapped in, like you said, storming off because you're saying something that they don't want to hear. Where the fighters back in the day, they just seem to have more edge about them.
True.
And that is just my opinion.
I mean, do I think Fury causes problems for pretty much any heavyweight in the history of the sport? Absolutely. Does he have the record of the all-time great heavyweights in terms of who he's beaten? No. I mean, his signature wins are Klitschko, great win,
and Deontay Wilder,
destroying Deontay Wilder twice and getting off the canvas in the first fight.
Yeah,
impressive. But he's got a lot of work to do before we can talk about him being there with Lennox.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Absolutely.
Right. In my
Absolutely.
opinion.
I cannot. You've got to go through the heavyweight. You've got to go through the talent of the pool to claim that. You have to. You can't just have two emphatic wins and live off that. It doesn't work like that.
And this trilogy talk, right? Just to go back to that interview where he says he wants to be the first guy to have two trilogies. Somebody needs to tell him about Ken Norton. Like, Ali has already done this. Ken Norton and who else was it? Joe Frazier. Like, he's not the first to have had these trilogies, but the one-sided nature of his trilogies will defeat that being an accolade in the first place.
See, I've argued with my co-host about this, Kenny T. My whole thing is, if this fight replaced Usyk, then I'm complaining about it nonstop. But at the end of the day, as long as he fights Usyk, and by the way, I spoke to Usyk on Saturday night. Okay.
Name drop.
I think I have an even clip of it. I'll put it on my Instagram. He confirmed that they're ready to do the fight. They're ready for it. And it's a go as far as he's concerned. And he also confirmed that he wanted the fight to take place through broken English. He wanted the fight to take place next year. So the choice wasn't between Usyk and Chisora. The choice was between nobody and Chisora. And as somebody who would like to see AJ be more active, and now AJ's not fighting until next year, there's nothing wrong with guys staying sharp by taking on these intermediate fights when the main fight we all want to see is not happening. And this is what's going on in this case. Now, if he doesn't fight Usyk, then I'm all with Kenny T and all the other people that are complaining.
And that is why I said wait until next year.
All right.
Exactly.
We'll
anyway,
see.
that's been long enough, guys.
Maestro, appreciate you coming through, man.
Thank you. There's some
Let me
really
just plug my shit real quick. Make sure you tune
plug,
into my channel. Maestro A, check it out. All right. I'm working a lot with Supreme Boxing too. They on Instagram. And make sure you guys check out the David Morrell Jr. fight. He's the best prospect in boxing.
Oh, listen, I've been speaking about him. I've been speaking about him. The Cuban, he is dangerous. Wasn't he a light heavyweight and he's gone back down to super? Has he dropped down? Because I'm sure he was a light.
He's at super middleweight right now. He did fight a little bit as an amateur at light heavy, but as a pro, he's 168. And he's going to be taking on an undefeated Kazakh. Kazakh this Saturday in Minnesota. Okay. Your man's flying out there to go see it. That's how much I like this.
Hey, make sure you follow Maestro Boxing, bro. We want to see that, bro.
Absolutely, David Morrell.
Thank you for lighting up the show. You in 11:25.
Thank you.
Hey,
that was beautiful. But no, it was beautiful with him and Lennox. It was beautiful.
No, it was. Before, I never said Ken Norton fought Joe Frazier. I said Ali fought Ken Norton and Joe Frazier. Just to clarify, bro. All right, let me get Muhammad in, and this is gonna be the last.
Big up the chat as well. Yeah, big up the chat because it's
shouts out to everybody in there, man.
Before
says good show today. I can't lie. Hey, appreciate you tuning in, man. Adriano says I can hear Travis thinking. What does that sound like, fam? All right, let's get Muhammad in. I know he's been waiting for a while. Muhammad, what's going on, bro?
How's it going, guys? Big up to you guys, and big up to everyone on the chat. You know,
Welcome salam.
I just want to say I hope Fury and Chisora is competitive as Maestro and Lennox was there. Because
that was end-to-end, toe-to-toe action. Beautiful.
Bellissimo.
Oh, that was great. That was great. I can't lie. That was great. I just want to touch on the true.
I had Lennox in timeout for a little bit, right? And then he left. He left. He must have had something to do. Yeah, I was waiting for the comeback, but it never came.
In the chat, what has Lennox gone to do? Where is he? In the chat, please.
Preparing for the rematch. Preparing for the rematch.
Mohammed, what's on your mind, bro?
I just want to touch on the true Geordie Tyson Fury thing because I think like many of us, I just saw the Twitter snapshot and then went on to watch the full video, like most of us here. True Geordie actually did a podcast with Tyson Fury before the second Wilder fight, and Fury was there very open about his mental health and everything like that. So I was quite surprised with Fury, sort of, because I thought True Geordie, I've seen some of his videos. He does a lot of like fight reviews. I know he touched on Conor Ben's thing last week. Even did a quick not preview, but just a discussion about Fury Chisora 3 about his opinions. But I saw Fury's body language, and it looked like the same Fury that was at the Joseph Parker fight. It didn't look like he was in a great place. But even then, to have his reaction like that, it's out of line. I can't lie. And you know, when I see clips
Mohammed,
of like
when you say not in a great place, sorry to interrupt. Elaborate, Mohammed. What do you mean not in a great place?
Gareth A. Davis has said that he wasn't in a great place to try and explain his way out of his behavior in that interview, which is crazy.
Well, what do you think, Mohammed?
So I saw when I mentioned, I saw the clip of him like calling True Geordie out. So when I watched the video, I looked at his body language straight away, and he looked like he didn't want to be there, or and you know, when the question about the Conor Ben stuff, and I know Fury had a drug problem, and one of the things I knew would get Fury in a mood. And I did you guys, sorry to kind of go on a different tangent, but did you see that clip? He cussed out Gareth A. Davies it's like a clip on Seconds Out. He told him to shut up or something. If you go on YouTube, Seconds Out put a YouTube short clip out, and he called out Gareth A. Davies, which was quite funny because I thought Gareth A. Davies tries to like put spins on what Fury says, but you can tell anyone that questions this fight or tries to ask Fury like, why are you taking this fight, Fury switches. And I'm surprised that someone like Tyson Fury wasn't prepared for those type of questions, and surprised Frank Warren hasn't really advised him on how to deal with those questions. Because if I was him and I'm fine knowing that the backlash I would get, I would just list off the fights you couldn't make, because at least you could have a discussion. Yeah, True Geordie is promoting you. Yeah, True Geordie has a bigger platform than IFL TV. If you see the subscriber, if you see because he's got a big platform with like KSI, does videos with Deji, like KSI's brother, the other week with Jordan Peterson. So he's got a massive platform. Like he gets more views than IFL TV would like tend to get. So I'm surprised Fury put on that. And like True Geordie's a Fury fan. If you see his past videos, because he discusses about AJ and Fury. If you see the fight clip they did when Fury beat Wilder, he said Fury destroys AJ and stuff. So he's actually a Fury fanboy in a way. So it is quite surprising for him to switch on him. But you know, that's why I'm a bit surprised. But if you see his body language, he wasn't great. It's the same guy that was at the Joseph Parker Joe Joyce fight. Okay. Yeah. Can I just touch on the Lomachenko thing just quickly?
Go for it, bro.
I think, you know, if you see Devin Haney coming into the ring, the size difference looked immense. He looked huge. I mean, and Lomachenko didn't look confident. Like again, I don't want to touch on body language like the Fury thing, but his body language didn't look great.
And there's one
he needs another fight, maybe.
Yeah, he said he's ready, but he needs some more preparation. I think who was I talking to? Base. I think I was talking to Base about this, and he was saying, he goes, some of the stuff about Tyson Fury is like not Fury, Lomachenko is like it gets lost in translation in regards to how he speaks English. So it's not necessarily that he wasn't on it. When I watched it back with that in mind, I could kind of see what he's talking about. It's like I need more preparation, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go right now. Will have a longer camp. I'll have a longer run up to that fight than
which is understandable.
This one. Yeah, and I can let that one slide because I don't
I'm a bit surprised they're matching him up with Haney, because Haney, is he staying long term with Top Rank or not? Because promoters tend to do this thing where they use their own fight, they use an upcoming fighter to beat their own premium, like because Lomachenko's been a standard bearer at Top Rank, right? Devin Haney is like, I mean, I know I don't know he's got long term contract or not. You know, Shakur staying with Top Rank for like since the start of his career. Like I thought they'd match up with him earlier to finish him off. If you know, because if Haney wins and Haney leaves,
yeah,
you lose your top guy.
Haney's got, I think he's got one fight left.
He had a 3-fight deal. That's why I assume.
Yeah, that's in the chat.
He goes back to Matchroom.
Yeah, one of the guys says Haney's got one more fight left.
But I think Aram probably senses that Loma's no longer going to be at the top flight. Like, or if not,
wouldn't you feed him to Shakur if you're Top Rank?
There's no belt to really. At least you can't. Yeah, but you're not selling that to Loma though. Loma wants to shoot at the belt if he's going to be on his way out.
Yeah. Now that's because you know Bob Arum has a habit of just keeping in house. So like potentially losing to Haney is not really keeping it in house, especially if he leaves. Again, I'm not privy to what's happening on the other side, but like because Haney's got a great chance just from looking at the outskirt, especially based on that performance. And Haney looked really good against Kambosos. Like
for all we know, Haney might not want to go back to Matchroom.
Well, we don't know, do we?
We don't know for sure.
Tony's put no, the deal with 2 fight with an option. So yeah, it's not set in stone.
Do you see the pettiness of ESPN? I think I saw a picture of Kovalev and they said 0-2 against Andre Ward. That's hilarious.
0-2 versus Andre Ward.
They put it underneath his Kovalev's name. I swear that it was, I think Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, because you guys mentioned it earlier when I watched them. So the bias, they gave them a free run there at ESPN to say, because it was horrendous. And commentary, we complain about the UK commentary, but some days it's terrible.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, every network does it, man. It's wild.
Just quickly, somebody in the chat, Carlos put, am I the only person that watched the true Geordie talking pretty disrespectfully about Tyson's dad a few weeks ago? Can't remember what was said, but I remember thinking it was pretty out of line. So that might contribute to why he was a bit aggy. Thank you very much for that, Carlo. And no, I didn't. I don't really watch his podcast, to be fair, but thank you for putting that across.
That's interesting. Well, we can only imagine how it would be if Tyson Fury had him on this podcast. I imagine from the get-go, it would be very, very wild energy.
You know what it is? Like, with Tyson Fury in 3, if you think about it, I watch boxing regularly, like most of us here, but the last couple of weeks has been shockingly bad. No Crawford, no Spence, Ben failing at drug tests. We get Fury Chisora 3. Like, this is like one of the shittest ways to end the year, especially for boxing. You got no, like even Kambosos Haney too. Like there was no hype for it. Like I was aware of it. I keep in touch with boxing regularly, but I have friends that are casual fans, but they can't keep up with it. And like they were looking forward to more like the UFC that was like the other week. But with boxing, you only have like Crawford, and your Crawford's the worst thing, because I was backing him when you left Aram, and he was calling out Bob Arum. But Bob Arum could have easily made the Avanesian fight last year if he wanted to, because Avanesian's with Frank Warren, and Bob does deals with Frank Warren. So for him to, like, obviously, I'm not blaming him for the talks because I don't know what's happening with the Showtime talks, but it's like, you're going out and fighting Avanesian. Fair enough, you're getting big money, but it's like you could have done that under Bob Arum and wouldn't have even blinked. It would have been like, that's typical Bob Arum. But now you're doing it on your own accord. And if we don't get Javonte Davis or Ryan Garcia,
thing is, bro, like there are still, it's a good menu of fights that are kind of closing out the year. It's obviously not the showstoppers that we were hoping for, but we're still in a good space, man. We've had a good year. I think sometimes with boxing, we can easily forget that good things are happening. Like Bivol Ramirez is coming up. Like, bro, like we've still had a good boxing.
We've had even the AJ rematch. We have had a really good year. And like somebody's put in the chat as well, we've still got Dillian White versus Jermaine Franklin as well. Yeah, and I think even all of this kind of Ben stuff with the drugs, all it's done, and it's negative, I get that, but it's brought so many eyes onto boxing. I mean, he's gone and spoke to the Times and the Sun, for God's sake. Why he went to the Sun, I'll never know.
Yeah,
but how many eyes is he brought onto boxing? Bad news, but it's brought eyes onto the sport. But that's just
big
me.
up to you guys both, and
For
appreciate you having me on, and big up to everyone on the chat as
Take
well.
care, bro.
Thanks so much.
Cool, man. Oh, all right, guys.
It's been good.
We've reached the end. This was fun, man.
It
Shout out to KG.
was.
KG's not here. It's his birthday this week on
Happy
Thursday.
birthday, KG.
So make sure you light up his mentions on Thursday. He's out celebrating with his wife. He's having a great time. So yeah, man, October, thank you for stepping in and
listen. It's been fantastic. Man. The chat has been absolutely on fire. It was some of them. There were tears in my eyes when the comments were coming in about Lennox, but it is what it is. Fantastic show. Thank you so much for having me on as well. I really appreciate that.
And as KG would love to do, you know what I mean? When we close out the show, we're going to end it on Big Frank. All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you guys on Thursday with the pod. Take care, man. Bless up.
Adios.